G'day traders, welcome wrap up of Wednesday the 10th of October. So just got the daily chart up here. We're starting to put some pressure on that swing low we spoke about yesterday. It's quite a significant area on the daily charts just here. You can see we've drawn a line across there. The market, temporarily has just broken it. It hasn't convincingly broke through yet, but certainly starting to get a bit of a reversal pattern, or some sellers are starting to show a bit of strength. In fact, the market's pulled back, but they've failed to go higher here, so that they've contained that high, that seller pressure, and then they come down and break a previous fairly strong support area which the buyers hold. So that all adds up to sellers starting to gain some momentum and push to the downside. It's still not like the sellers have completely broken through yet. To get some real significance, it needs to start coming down, applying pressure on this area down here. But certainly in the sort of the medium term, over the last few weeks, we're seeing the sellers starting to come in, and as a result, range and movements also picking up, which is good to see. So I'll just bring out the 15-minute chart. So that's that low point down here that we're looking at and seeing if the market can break through. So you can see quite a significant bounce right at the low there during the cash market. So if we expand it a bit, you can see right at the middle of the day we sort of bottomed out there, and that's where we really went sideways and finished for the rest of the day. And then once the market got right to the end, it's managed to push through that area, but that support held for a little while. We'll have a bit of a close look on the 1 minute and 5 minute charts. So there's that low I was talking about there. So on the daily charts, this is fairly good support. The market's just dealt sideways as soon as it's got to that area there. Didn't have the strength to push through yet, but then you can see the pre-market have managed to push through a little bit. It's not like they're completely through yet. It'll be interesting to see leading up to the opening of Thursday where this market's actually sitting, whether it's just going to try and bounce back up within that range, or whether it's going to keep on pushing down and really consolidate this down move. As far as the opening move, I mean, the market really stuck within a range. As far as the other markets are concerned, they weren't really showing much at all. The Russell and the Nasdaq, normally quite volatile markets, they stuck quite tight within their range. Even when we had this down move here, the Nasdaq, especially the Russell, just didn't really want anything to do with the downside. Maybe those buyers were trying to hold off a little bit as we're hitting that support area on the daily charts, but it was the ES that was trying to lead them and push down. It's managed to have a decent push down, but not with the support of the Russell and the Nasdaq. Maybe we had seen the support of the Russell and Nasdaq, it could have pushed lower than it has. Ran this 5 minute selling area here. A little bit of a tougher one to take. You can see right where it's come up, we've got previous support here, sort of the low of this pre-market range, and also other markets, like I said, Russell, Nasdaq, not showing, not convincingly looking like they want to push down and start putting some pressure on these lows. In hindsight, that's what the market's done. But as it was happening live, it was one that was a little bit more difficult to take. Certainly looked a little bit more 50-50. I mean, as far as the setup's concerned, an automatic setup, it's got the moving average pointing down, the predictive's crossing down. It's a 5 minute sell, but there's just a little bit of support there, and also other markets not showing great signs of pushing lower. But irrespective of that, the market's managed to head down. So if we flip over to the 1 minute chart, so this is where this 5 minute sell came. So it's pushed down, popped up, and then eventually headed down. This power fade round here, you can see the market's previously tried to break higher, and then it's come down and had a go at its lows again. So as far as the power fade is concerned, one that because it's failed to push higher to the upside, had a good chance working. Although in this particular area, what I'd also look for is the other markets, Russell, Nasdaq, seeing what they're doing. They're pushing lower. If you had seen the Russell breaking its lows through this area here, this would be a really solid area. The fact was Russell, Nasdaq were just hanging within their range, but as far as the ES is concerned, the upside failed and the downside came down with quite some aggression, and it's got a little bit of a bounce at the low, but then it's managed to push through quite convincingly. And from there, this downside started, and it was managed to push lower, getting a bounce on that daily support area, and then from there they're just gone straight into a sideways channel to finish off the afternoon. Not a lot happening within the afternoon there. You can see bouncing between power points before eventually pushing lower in that pre-market. So we'll wait and see come Thursday, see if this market, as regards to that support area on the daily chart, this particular area here, see whether the market's going to bounce and come back up into the range, or whether it wants to keep on pushing lower and start putting some pressure down around 86. So that's a wrap up for Wednesday. We'll be back Thursday.